It is another Thursday. It is another day for us to come here with our panelists on Women's Voice to tackle a lot of issues that are affecting women on a daily, how women manage to meander through life, giving their own responsibilities and other responsibilities, be it as mothers, be it as career women, and so on and so forth. And we have come here today to discuss on a very, very crucial issue which affects most women. Of course, we always say there are two things that women do that are very, very demanding. Of course, being a mother and being a career professional, those are very difficult things or very demanding roles to carry on as a woman, and we are trying to see how women on a daily can actually meander through these roles, through these difficulties, and be at their best at their job sites as being career women, and of course as being mothers, and why not taking care of children and other persons around them perfectly without any discrepancies or worries. Good evening, dear TV friends, and thanks for joining us today. We are here to discuss on some of the challenges and the triumphs, successes of women balancing responsibilities when it comes to motherhood and career. Motherhood and career, balancing responsibilities. So we came up with this panel of panelists to talk on how they do on a daily, how they struggle on a daily to balance their activities, to balance their affairs, to balance work, and actually being mothers. It is not an easy task, and we encourage all women out there who are going through this to always struggle on a daily to be at their best. It is very, very important to do this. So we came up today with we have on panel, we have Dr. Momeni Mirabel, who is the president of Chitekma University, who is a career woman, of course, and she is also a mother. So we brought her on set today to find out how she actually balances her responsibilities, given the tasks she has as in her profession, and of course the load she also has as a mother in the house. So good evening, doctor, and thanks for coming today.
Good evening, Madeleine. Thank you for the invite. We are here to throw more light on the topic of the day.
Okay, and we also have Ndakwe Mercy Angwi, who is a teacher and a psychologist, and she's also CEO of WEBS Association, WEBS, which stands for Women Empowerment for Home Building and Sustainability. And of course, she's also a mother. So we brought her too so that she could also discuss with us or give us a little insight on how she copes as a mom and of course as a career woman. So good evening, Madam Dakwe, and thanks for coming today.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is mine.
Okay, so we're calling on you, our viewers, to join us on this discussion we have today, balancing motherhood and career, balancing responsibilities. That's our topic of discussion this afternoon: motherhood and career, balancing responsibilities. You can contribute on our talking point today via the numbers that will be displayed on your screen, and you can get to us via SMS or WhatsApp. So I want to come to you, Dr. Momeni, looking at a personal experience. Can you share your personal experience balancing motherhood and career, and what challenges did you face and how you overcame these challenges?
Thank you very much, Madeleine. Balancing motherhood and my career has been something I do on a daily basis. As a mother, you need to manage a home. As a mother, you need to manage your profession. You need to manage your job. You need to manage your career. And so, while I was growing up, I was first of all brought up to know that nothing can limit a woman. A woman is a bowl full of something that you cannot identify all the items of the bowl. So, as a woman, you strive to see that you always put all at equal balance. If you give a weight to your career, you're going to cost your home something that you'll not like to see in the future. So as a personal experience, what I usually do is that I do not prioritize this barrier over my children, over my family. I try to get it in such a way that each and every one of the family get a satisfaction for my role I play. I should be represented at home. My career should be limited where my home begins. I should get home as a mother. I should play my function. I should be able to take my function as a mother. I should be able to cook. I should be able to prepare my children to build their future, to educate them financially, to make their moral be the way I would like to see them tomorrow. In the other side, when I talk of professional career, there's a boundary between my home or my way of bringing my children, my motherhood, and the career. With career, you have to deal with people that are not exactly directly into your mother action. And so you need to develop the strategy. You need to have a leadership that helps you, because when you join two persons, you're going to have two characters. What if you have to have 20? So in balancing that, I try at any time to have a personal satisfaction, to feel that I don't live a life to satisfy others. I don't live a life to feel that others feel that I'm doing just to satisfy them. I first of all satisfy myself. So I put myself at the center. If I'm able to progress my career, it means that I'm personally satisfied. If I'm able to produce my children that will be able to stand the test of time, it means that I'm bringing them up with the criteria that I lay at the beginning. And so I spend the whole time trying to balance that equation, my motherhood and my career.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And to you, Madam Dakwe, maybe you want to shed more light on how you share your personal experience on balancing motherhood and career. What are the challenges you face, and of course, how do you overcome these challenges?
Okay, for me, balancing motherhood and my career, I've been struggling to see that I use a democratic parenting, where I don't do anything on my own. I share with my husband, I share with my children, whatever I have as plan of action to do. Because doing it alone would have caused more problems to me. But since I have taken that option of always opening up to them whatever is on board, that's really helped me a lot to succeed in whatever I'm doing as a mother and building my career. So I have that notion that democratic parenting is that aspect that has helped me a lot to succeed in my motherhood and my career development. I also have that tendency that I have to manage my time. So I do a lot of time management. So if I have to do anything, I make sure I use my time judiciously. And then I plan my work on time. So I do a lot of planning. So planning has also helped me a lot to succeed in whatever I'm doing. And I don't procrastinate, because I know procrastination is that virus that kills our vision. So these three aspects has helped me a lot, where I share my vision with my husband and my children. We work on it as a family. I plan my time and use it judiciously, and I don't procrastinate. This has been the factors that have been keeping me going. And then with the challenges, I know there's never something that is just going as a bed of roses. We always have problems and challenges. Yes, but the highest challenge I faced was me wishing to go to school at all time. As I'm talking to you now, I'm even still in school. That has been the highest challenge financially. And then my husband was from the beginning to restrain me not to go to school, especially when I was pregnant. At least, can't you rest? But with time, he is with me now, saying that it's a passion and he's supporting. So the challenges, by the grace of God, we are overcoming them, and everything is moving smoothly.
Okay, thank you very much. And Doctor, I just want to find out, how did you decide to pursue your career while raising your children, and what motivated you to take this challenge? Because most parents nowadays see it as a challenge too. Maybe you're working and you're raising children. You see, most persons will decide to take maybe 3 years off to just take care of their children. Maybe I want to have my children within these 3 years. So I'm having 2 kids. Okay, I'm having 2 kids, and I'm not doing anything that is going to make me feel strained. So how did you take up this challenge? How did you decide to pursue your career, and why did you take up this challenge?
When did I decide to pursue this career? I can say I cannot give you a cut-off time which I actually decided, because at the time I said I was born an entrepreneur. What I do in life as a person is that actually I impact life through entrepreneurship. I am a business person. I've done business for the past 20 years. Now, coming out to what motivated me to become an entrepreneur is that I've realized that there were so many problems, and many people keep life of complaint. You keep on complaining, this has not done like this, pointing your finger, this person was supposed to do, he didn't do. So I asked myself, how can I become a solution provider? And I said, at this level, any problem I face in my life, I need to provide a solution. And so I took upon myself to look life as with a positive facet. anything I want to do, I must impact. Anything I want to do, it must be income generating. It must be able to put food on the table. And it's not also easy to take upon yourself to be a business or to be an entrepreneur, because many people tell you, I don't have money, I don't have this, but I tell people the problem is not the money. The problem is, first of all, you yourself. Do you have the idea? Do you have the capability? Do you believe in yourself? Do you have self-confidence? And so I spent all my life building that self-confidence in me, in that I actually started doing business in primary school. So when I look at my skill, I say God actually impacted me with those skills right from primary school. I started selling my bonbon, and if today I've transformed bonbon to another thing, it's still entrepreneurship, it's still business. And so I cannot give you that. It's at this particular time which I decided to be an entrepreneur. But I know there are so many challenges that we face. Anything that you do in life, you should be able to stand up for the challenges. For if you don't even meet a challenge, then it is not something worthy to do. Because once you encounter one challenge, 2, 3, 4, 5, you'll be able to predict that if I encounter this, I will be able to do this. And so my career was actually a career that if I'm into a school business today, it is not that I got into the school as a teacher or as a pedagogue. No, I went there as an entrepreneur to see that this school vision, how can I transform the whole mindset into the school area in such a way that when you look at Chitema, you look at a place where when I get in there, I get an impact in my life, I get a positive life, I get a way that I am a mother. So in a school, I have to play the motherhood. I have to sit with children, I have to communicate with children. In school, I will tell you there are some children that the parents will come abandon with me. I'm not understanding my child. Please take charge of this child. And I have to put that child down and say, okay, now I'm replacing your mother. Let's talk this thing one-on-one. And you say, it has to go with the current way. You have to flow with it. It has to move with you in life. There's no a particular time you can decide to be, I'll play my role as a mother. Once you are above 18, you are matured enough to be a mother. And if you're a mother, you should have those skills that from origin your mother impacted in you, put in you, and you're growing and simply transforming it in order to make it better, more than your mother. And the second part of the question was,
like, why did you take up the challenge of pursuing that career, maybe entrepreneurship? Why do
I take a challenge to portray an entrepreneurship mindset? I think it's because in anything I do, I want it to generate income. I want it to be productive. I want it to put something on the table, because if you have all the certificate of the world and you cannot produce something, you cannot put something on the table, it can't be of any use. So why I decided to pursue that career as a mother is because I look at entrepreneurship, I look at business. It was a man with something in those days. And you look at any woman trying to do, it's like you're trying the man. You're trying to do something that is not supposed to be yours. And I thought, why can't I take this as a challenge and resolve it? I encourage other women to say you can come out of your shell, out of your comfort zone, and do something better. Once you become a great entrepreneur, you realize I have a good vision for your family. You'll be able to bring up your family in that perspective that anything that you have to do need to have something to impact the life of others or yours. If you are doing something that is self-centered, if you are doing something just you, I'm doing for myself and me, no, you are not impacting life. So I had that vision of actually impacting many lives. I have that vision of changing many people and see that the contribution of a woman in society is primordial. I say, no, I can encourage women. I can do so that when a woman actually look at what I'm doing, she might be inspired and look at my role as a woman. She will say, I can do it myself. And many women can attest that actually they have gone through the process of encouragement to say that it is not only for men, but if you are a woman and you have to play your role as a mother, you can do better things for the society.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. And to you, Madam Dakwe, let's talk balancing responsibilities. How do you prioritize your responsibilities as a mother and as a career woman?
Okay. What I do is I have my boundaries.
Okay.
Yes, when it's time for me to be home, I take my role as a mother. I take my role as a wife. And when it's time to be at my job site, I take my role also as a worker. So I don't mix the two. Yes, when if I'm in the office, for example, even if my husband comes to me because we happen to work in the same place, we don't coordinate or we don't cooperate like husband and wife. We are there like workers.
Yeah. Colleague relationship.
Like colleague relationship, yes. But when we are back home, I take my place as a woman. I will not say because we are working the same place, we are colleagues. Now we are colleagues in the house. No, I take my role as a woman, and that has given me that has been a push for me, because he has seen that humility in me, and that has been the aspect where he has been supporting me to go forward in my career. I can tell you that when I started with my studies, when I was about doing my first degree, it was a problem, because he got that notion that when a woman is empowered academically, maybe that woman will have a problem of looking down on the husband. But when he saw it's very type of woman in me, he's even the one who advised me to go further to do my master's. So I can tell you that for me, balancing the two is not a problem, because I know my boundaries. If you know yourself as a woman, you know your role as a woman, I think there will be no problem. And when it deals with my kids, I also know what I need to do at what time. I know that it's time for me to assist them with the assignments. So when it's time for that, I make sure I'm with them to see that I assist them with the assignment. I make sure I get up very early, prepare their breakfast, and make sure that they go to school on time. So the thing that I can see, or the prerequisite for everything, is time management. Know your role and manage your time well. There won't be a problem. So that's what has been helping me, and that's how I've been doing to succeed in the career and the
motherhood. Okay, thank you very much. And doctor, looking at balancing responsibilities, what strategies do you put in place? Do you use to actually manage your time effectively? Because you might be very busy, you have the school, you have your business, you have your personal life, and then you still have children, and you still have other children that maybe are not your children maybe you are just mentoring, you are just guiding. How do you manage all of this, and you are sure that, okay, I'm at my best and I'm doing my best, I'm giving everyone what they need at the time they need?
Thank you very much. I think, as Madam said, time management is very important. You must have a distinction of things. You should not merge family and career together. For example, with me, when there's time I have to retire home, I take my car. When I reach home, I forget about what I went through in the office. I have to handle my children. If it is time that I have to get up and sit on the table and teach that child mathematics, I do it, because I know how important it's going to help that child. So my children will not see them complaining of having that gap, that I'm too busy maybe in my office or in my this, because I've actually tried to make that distinction, that time allocation, that for morning time I have to drop my children. I drop them in the morning. When I drop them in school, I go now for my career. When I build a career to around 4:30, then I have to retire home. When I reach home, I need to check assignments. No matter how I am busy, I have to check my children assignment. Have you done your assignment? I have to accompany them reading. And I tell you, I even get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock to sit on the same table with them to supervise that they are even reading. If not, at 6 o'clock when we are separating to do the house chore, they might give an impression that they have been reading. So I need to do that supervision very closely in order not to prepare a bad future. Because if I overweigh my career, I will in the future realize that I didn't actually perform my role as a mother. And so I try to balance that. Time management is important. The time for children, time for family is time for family. I will not take time that I'm supposed to cook in my house to rush out because I have a meeting in the office. But I know that I have a meeting, so I work ahead of time. I program my meeting. I program the home. I have to cook for my kids. At times, children will tell you, "Mommy, I miss eating this." I spare that time. I sit home. I eat. I put on the table. We share together because I know that I don't want to create a gap that tomorrow I will not be able to fill. But as for my career, once I'm in my office, that's career time. I need to build that with my staff. I need to build that with my subordinate. We need to talk together. We need to discuss, and that has something to do with building the family of that particular area. And you see, I see extending your motherhood to that office, because at that level you still have to accompany. For me, for example, when you come in my institution, I tell you have come to the family. This is a bigger family of what I had at home. And so even at that level, I still play that more role of a mother. If I look at my staff and realize that things are not going well, I can call you privately in my office and I look at you and say, okay, can we just talk a little bit? You look stressed up. Is it that your job is doing this? I will try to accompany you, see that you must achieve. And I tell my staff, if your home is not moving, then the office will not move.
Of course.
So I need to build that indirect contact with your family so that you perform at your best in the family. Help me perform myself, because if you help your subordinate to perform well, obviously you are elevating yourself to the level where you don't expect. Because when you set your target, when you set your objectives, you have people under you who will help you attain the objective. And how do they help you? By the way you communicate with them, by the way you value them. You value them at the precise time. When I do that and retire home, it is time now to take care of my family. It is time now to take care of my children. I tell my children, this is what you have to do. I am a professional in this domain, you have to be a professional in that other domain. But it is true that when you do that, from time to time you realize yourself that you are lagging maybe in one aspect or other. You need seriously need what we call prayer. You know, you need to be accompanied by God. You need His presence always, because you can't do it on your own. So when you blend all of this with the word of God with children, you realize that you can't do it on your own, but you have the support system under you that is carrying you up, and you can actually rely on it and stand on it and perform your duties as a mother.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. And there is this misconception, if I should say, that women or mothers have about leaving their children with other people. Maybe those are one of the reasons why some women will not want to pursue their career when they're having children, because for some time now or some time ago, we used to have videos of how caretakers or nannies who always maltreat children and all of that. Even so, people always feel that, like, I cannot leave my child, even if it's my sister. Some people always feel like, even if it's my sister, I don't think I can leave my child with them. So what advice do you have for some of these mothers out there that still have this feeling they don't really have someone they can trust to leave their children with? Most often mothers, normally I think jobs, some workplaces always give 3 months leave or so. So when your child is 3 months old, you can now get back to work. But some mothers will feel like it is not enough time for me to let my child go with someone. They have these trust issues, especially for people that don't really have parents by them or family by them that can take care of these children. So what advice do you have for these women out there on how they can really kill this feeling of feeling like no one is good enough to take care of their children except them? Because I feel like if women only have to stay on that path, it's like they won't be able to pursue their career. If you only have to say, if you have to have 4 children, just imagine that's maybe 8 years of your life gone. How do you balance up? Time lost can never be recovered. So how do you advise women to balance up their time with pursuing their career and taking care of their children?
I think that at that level, I would like to say here that there's not really time for you to say, this is a time I have to take care of my children, this is a time I have to take care of my career. You need to carry along, you need to move along. But the strategy here is that how do you do in such a way that that child that you love so much is not affected by what you are doing. For women out there, I would like to say, the experience I had for my last son, when I had my last son, I had to entrust him with a nanny who actually abandoned him the day she was living in a house. When I reached here, I tried to ring the bell. Nobody could answer. I parked the car. I waited, nobody. I waited for the other son who came and crossed over the fence, jumped to the house, and the child has cried, mess all over because he was there alone. And I read the letter she wrote. So from that experience, I said, no, we love our children. Mothers, we love our children so much. We will not like our children to pass through certain things in life because we are prioritizing our jobs. At the same time, we can't abandon what is feeding us, what is putting food on the table. But I think that the proposal I had as from that moment is that these centers where you have care for children, I took that child there as from 6 months, and he continued there up to he was 1, and I took that child to daycare in school, and he continued. We have grown far from imagining that somebody must take care of your child. If you have somebody, even somebody you trust that is living with you, if you go to work, dash back home and check, surprise that person. Even if it's your sister or your brother, dash back home and check if everything is okay. And at times you come, you look at the temperament of the child, it tells you if he or she has been treating the child very well. You make surprise visit like that, you will make the person to be cautious and know that, hey, it means that I cannot play with this child. If not, then you have to entrust the child. These care centers where they have some responsibilities that they have actually been doing, and they know that you can actually trust a child with them. You can entrust the child with them and go to your career, still come back and check, because the type of food they eat can be what you don't want your child to eat or whatsoever. But to say that you have a nanny that you trust 100%, we have seen all what is going all over the world. You trust the child, at the end of the day, they'll beat the child up and down, they'll even maltreat the child in your absence. And when you get into the house, they'll say, baby, come, I want to carry you. This baby have not been feeling fine, giving the impression that they have done so well. So you need to set your target. Some parents even put surveillance cameras in the house. They feed in the house in order to control what is actually. Let us not value what we can sacrifice to control our children, because if you gain the whole career and your child cannot be to where you desire him to be, you will keep on regretting. So it is a control system that has to be with your husband, with the elder ones, with the whole entire family, that you make a check on this child to make sure that if you cannot afford maybe paying for the center to take care of your child, you make sure you go. If you are a teacher, after a period you can go back home and sacrifice that transport and check that child, go back breastfeeding and go back. You realize that even the bad habit of the nanny has been reduced or controlled, because he or she knows at any time you can come. You don't know when the child will stop crying or stop disturbing. So we have that control mechanism that we need to set within the family. For the children that are actually coming up let me say from primary, you need to build a special love for these children. You need to care for these children. You care for them by discipline. You need to discipline the children. I feel so upset, for example, when I go to church and I see a child sitting and the mother needs to pay the child and say, eat biscuit, eat biscuit. You are not training that child to spend 2 hours without eating. No, even to breastfeed, you're not supposed to. You need to train your child that at this moment, from this time to this time, is 2 hours. My daughter, my son, you reserve yourself like that. Even a child of 2 months old will cultivate that habit and comes out with. When you go to church, you see the child will always cry, take this biscuit. Even children of 3 years, I used to coach them with me in church. I will tell you, and I say, no, you're not training this child. We love our children so much, but we should we not give the excessive care that actually make them to be naughty. So we need to, that is it. So we need to actually accompany. It's a whole role. A mother will not get tired until you are tired. Tired means you're old and your child become your stick on which you lean. So you will never. It is a role that we have taken upon ourselves, given by God, that we need to carry throughout our lifespan. So there's no time that you say, I will retire, I am tired and I will not do this. You only get tired when you are retired to die, and you stop that due, because even your children, your great grand, you play the same role, you know, until the end of time. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. And just
can I add something
of
to that
course
point?
you can.
Yes, apart from taking our children to the kindergarten or the daycare centers, I think those who can afford a nanny and who have children, their children are with a nanny. To me, I think it's a very good thing to love those nannies. Let them be like your own children, because they are the one that you have entrusted your child into their care. In your absence, you don't know what they can do. So what I propose is show extreme love to those staying with your kids. For example, I for one, when I was with my nanny, I make sure when I go to the market to buy something for myself, I buy for her. Even you are not prepared to do that for the sake of your child, you are giving her that extra love, so that even if she wants to think something negative, let your act of love towards her speak. Yes, I think if you can take very good care of our nannies, treat them very well as our own kids, our own children, our own loved ones, it will help a lot to reduce this type of the type of things we are seeing, that nannies are treating our children badly. I think some of them are doing that as an act of revenge.
Yes,
the way some of them are being treated, the way some of them are being treated, they like the revenge on the children. You cannot prepare food and you prefer to give but the sleeping food to your nanny, someone taking care of your child. So I think if they too are being treated well and give a very good pay package, they will also turn to pay back on our children. So for us to have confidence back at our job site, wherever we are with our nannies taking care of our children, we should make sure that the nannies also should be well taken care of. Because some parents, I tell you the truth, they don't really have that tendency to take care of the one that is taking care of their children. So if we change also our own mindset of the ones taking care of our children, I think it will help a lot to see that our children also have a state of well-being in our absence. That's a better I can add.
Okay, and just in relation to taking care of our children, I think last week, Sunday, there was a 3-day, from Friday to Sunday, 3-day trauma healing session for children. You see, I actually saw children at Friday Charity, organized by Reverend Father Jude Thaddeus and Father Moses Tazo, for children healing session. You see, children go through trauma. little children and you see them cry about these things, they write them down. You don't know where, some of us don't know where these children get these things from. Children's cognition is very, very high, such that even if you do them something at 6, 7, or let me say a year, when they're a year old or even less, that thing lingers in their minds. Maybe they are old enough to understand, comprehend these things. So I was, like you just said, let mothers take care of their nannies, caretakers, whoever you entrust your child to is also your child, because that person relates your energy to the child. Because most often these children just suffer because of, maybe, let me say, the wickedness of their parents or their mothers. You entrust your child to somebody and you do not regard that person. That person should be a mini god to you at that moment, because anything the person does or anything a person gives your child, you're the person, you'll be the one to suffer. Some of them, they don't really, let me say, they don't have consciences when it gets to that point, because they know, I'm giving you back what your mother gave me. So we're encouraging all mothers out there, whoever you entrust your children to, cater for those persons. Pay attention to their needs, pay attention to their plights, because these things are going to haunt your children. You are out for work, you don't know what your child is doing. You know the person, but you don't know what your child is going through. The videos that were spreading all over social media, those parents could never imagine that their children could go through those kind of mistreatment. So treat the persons who take care of your children right. It is very important. And looking at support systems, how important is support system in balancing motherhood and care? Like, what are some of those people who have actually assisted you to bring up your children, such that you can always turn back to them and say thank you one way or the other? Be it, you know, some parents go through emotional breakdown. The pressure from their homes, their children, this child, everybody has their own worries accompanied with yours. How do you manage all this? What are some of those support systems that you have, or those persons that you could actually always appreciate them for helping you through your motherhood journey?
Yeah, very important. That support system will always be there. As we are talking of the nanny like this, I know all my 4 children, each of them had around 2, and I have some of them who have, apart from the last one I quoted, all of them are well situated this day, because they did me a great job. I remember 2 days ago, the person who took care of my 3rd son, who is 20 years today, actually called to ask how he is. We discussed with the child, and he was inviting the child to Yaoundé to go and pay him a visit. She has also 3 kids. And no, that support system has always been, and I think that these people, and I have my sister-in-law, which is Pierrette. She took care of my first daughter. That was when I was still a student in 2001. And up to now, she remains a model to them. She remains their aunt. She remains their mother. I know I value her so much. You have that support system. You have the real one, the eternal one, which is God, which is, you know, when you rely on it. I remember my children would tell me, Mama, are you moving out with all your rosary? And I say, that's my support system. I know I say support system because it's giving me the energy I need. It gives me the power. It fuels me every morning. When I get up in the morning, I have to recite my rosary. It's as if it's balancing my day. It's assuring me that you can now go out. And that support system has always been there. The prayer I give every day, the answer to the prayer God gives me every day, keeps me moving, keeps me hoping, keeps me believing, keeps me having faith that my God is actually acting for me. And I think of the whole entire family, even my father, you know, even my father at certain level had to come to my house and spend 2 months with me, because he had to be there and I have to write exams. And he was there being the old man. He has to be there at least for 2 hours. I go and come back. I can thank a whole line of persons. You know, I can thank my mother. I can thank all my babysitters, moving from Pierrette, Janet, Alvin. They are there, and I know some of them are now teachers. Some are economat, they went to insect. One went to insect, one went to economat. They are teachers. It's a whole family. I no longer see them as support system. I see them as my children. I see them as the people who made me to what I am today, because they were there when I actually was busy trying to study, to meet up, and they took care of these children. They brought them up. And they are not today, they cannot do anything without telling you, I want to invite Auntie Pierrette, I want to invite Auntie Nina. They know them, they recognize them. And I can tell you that in what has to happen in their life, they have a say on it. Because if you play in my house and I tell you, I'm going to call this person, you know the person I'm calling. It may be your nanny who took care of you, and they say, Mommy, please don't do that. Because they know the relationship they have developed with them. They have kept that relationship for years, you know. And they know that they have an influence on them. And that support system must be there all the time. You have your friends. You have friends that are there with you. Those type of friends that can look into your eyes and tell you you're wrong. Not the friends that will clap for you every day that you're doing well, and you think that you're excelling. A good friend is that person that will look at you and say, no, I don't like this, or tell you, I found your child doing this in school. I can even go to the extent of thanking even schools administrations, because there's a time when my child is going playing a dirty game. I get to the administration, I tell this guy like this is not performing well because of this. Even the priest, I'll get to them. My priest, I say my child is not responding well, and I'll expose. I actually poorly on the table for you to understand what is wrong, because a child is not brought up by you alone as a mother, as a family. It's a system, you know. There are many contributors to bring up a child. You simply bear the child, and if you bring the child up and the child is performing well, there are so many people that will link their temperament to that and say, I contributed. And so I don't really joke with that relationship. I don't joke with that system. I don't joke with those people contributed. Even up to now, they keep on contributing. Even my collaborators, you know, the build. You might have a child, you might not know what that child is doing, but just a collaborator talking to that child that I don't want you to do this. You even listen more than you, the mother. So there are external factors that do play a role in you as a mother to build your family, to build your children, and to make them successful.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. And to you, Madam Dakwe,
how my support system has been, I can divide it into 3 domains. I have that spiritual aspect, which has been God sustaining me with good health and giving me that positive energy to strive ahead no matter the difficulties. And then the external one, I can look onto my family. I have a boy, my first son, Caleb, who has been a supportive, a strong force behind my success in everything I do, because that boy has always been there to assist me whenever I need his assistance. And his father also, which has happened to my husband, he too has been a very strong force behind everything I do, because he has been so supportive. Then my mother-in-law, there are some friends I have. There's this normal saying that for me to get married to a man who has a mother is better I stay without getting married, without tendency of having very bad mother-in-laws. But I happen to be blessed with one which is like my mother. Yes, she has been there for me from the one. I can even say having my first degree was thanks to her, because I was in Marwa. I was doing distant learning at the University of Boya. To leave Marwa for Boya for 4 years, you know what it takes. At least we'll come down 3 times a year. For 4 years was not an easy thing, but she was there to see that she assists me wherever I'm needed, and wherever there's my gap, she's there to fill that gap. So I want to really appreciate her for that. She has been there to see that I go through any difficult moment as far as managing my home and building my career. So I want to thank them very much. Not forgetting, as my colleague said, the external people around us, the school community, the society. In the African community, we know neighbors also assist. At times when you're not there, your neighbor is there to caution your child, to watch out for your child. You don't know what can happen in your absence, but they are there to see that what you needed to be doing and your absence, they should do it. So I don't forget that. At least I have a good neighborhood, good neighborly support that has been also helping in one way or the other. So I think the community where we live as African, it has been helping me a lot with that communal spirit. Good friends, my children, my mother-in-law, and above all, the Spirit of God. I believe so much in that, because if I was not healthy, I would have wished to do something, but if I was on a sick bed, I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing now. Is because he has given me that good health. So I thank him for good health, thank him for everything. So above all, I give God the glory, because it has been him behind me from day one to today. So God has been my support.
Thank you very much. And let's look at advice and encouragement. We have a lot of young career women, maybe they're just getting into marriage, maybe they're just starting up their careers, and they're also thinking of having children. They have this confusion: should I pursue my career? Should I just let it go and concentrate on family? Because some husbands too are the problem. If you have a husband who is not supportive of your career, I think that should be a question mark, because you should have a husband should be a support system, someone that pushes you to get on this thing, and okay, let's see how we can get through it. Not discouraging you. No, it's like this, maybe you let go of this career for now, let's concentrate on the family and all of that. So what advice would you give to young mothers just starting their careers?
Thank you very much. For young women just starting their career, I would tell them, if you go too fast with your career, while ignoring your role in the house, you come back and meet an empty home. So these two must go together. Try to strike the balance between the two. Make sure that it is true when you are in a home, the man is the head of the family. You need to seek his approval before maybe excelling or before doing so well in what you want to do. But a woman will tell you, my husband has refused. A woman is the only person that knows the soft point of the husband. So try to know the soft point of your husband and penetrate through that soft point to where he can actually allow you or to authorize you or to accompany you attain your goal. Don't use the force that if you like it or not, I will do it. Means you're not going to have a home. You must first of all build your home. You must first of all caress your husband in such a way that he feels flattered. Then he automatically give you the green light. When a wife is being supported by the husband, she can bring down mountains. Husbands too have to understand that these women too have a dream. They have something they are dreaming or they have been dreaming about that they want to attain. If you try to accompany your wife in achieving her own goal, actually the goal of the family is being expanded and the family is going to excel better. Young women, I would like to tell you, when you get into your home, try to deliver very fast. I said it because a woman will actually get into proper organization only after you had your children. Because the law we have for our children, you cannot really mix it up. You are simply doing the two, but when you actually finish, if you know that I have my 5 kids, I have to have 5 kids, and I need 10 years to have the 5 kids, get straight away and get the 5 kids. By the time you have the 5th one, you not sit down. There's nothing like dragging you like pregnancy, dragging you like this. You actually now have to just accompany children to school and pick them up and cook food, so you will now organize your time better. So if you get into marriage, make sure you have your children. If God bless you to actually get them faster, don't delay. As some women will tell you, I will get a gap of 5 years, I will wait for 6 years, I don't even want to have a child for 10 years. No, have your children. Yeah, you will get, if God decide that I will give you 2, I will give you 5, just get the 5. Then sit down, organize yourself. When you have all your children, even the education, you'll do better. Of course. Because you can sit down and study with your children. You can sit down and do. But if you are already into a career before getting married and you have your children within the marriage, manage it in such a way that you don't give too much weight into your career in order to abandon your children. Because at the end of your career, if you come back home and see your children, they are not intelligent, they are not smart, they are last in their classes, you will feel guilty. You will feel like you want to explain to yourself what is not explainable. So you need to make in such a way that you tell yourself, I am okay, I am balancing myself with my family and my job. Create time for your children always. Sit with your children always. Spend time with them. Don't say this time around I don't want to catch you in my room because I want to be doing it. Sit with your children every evening. Don't say this time is the time only for this, because the time you are giving only for this is a time that child can touch something negative that will carry that child in the wrong track in life. So always create time to be with your children, to celebrate with your children. Have time to celebrate in the family. Celebrate always. When you celebrate, you have a relaxed mind. You can do things that you don't even imagine yourself that you can carry. So try always to be closer to your children. Listen to your children. Communicate with them. Talk with them. Yeah, I believe that there is no child that is dull. There is no child that is too intelligent. Exactly. So you balance in such a way that you give attention to your children, you communicate with them, you love them, but don't show too much care in order to spare the discipline. You have to discipline your children. You have to put them through life the hard way, the only way. Don't tell the child you can eat 5 pop-up, eat. You can eat 10, eat. No, if the pop-up is for 3, eat the 3 and allow the 2 to rest. So you have to discipline these children, love them, show them care, but create time for your children. Create time and stay with them. Accompany them in their assignments. Accompany them in their stories. Make stories with them. You have to build your career. Don't set too high targets. Don't have too high goals, objectives that by the end of this I must do this. Set attainable objectives that if I put this goal here at the end of the year, I have 10 goals. If I attain 5 or attain 6, why I succeed in my children, then I've done my best. Don't strive in getting the 10, because if you get the 10, I'm not saying don't work hard, because you must work hard every day. Get up in the morning early, Don't sleep and get up when your children are going to class and say, open my door and say bye-bye, see you in the evening. Make sure you get up, you pray with your children, you make your breakfast, they eat with you, you tell them, accompany even out of the gate or out of the room and say, mama, goodbye, study well, I love you. Kiss your child every morning before he goes to school. When he comes back, sit with the child and relax. What did you do in class? Even if you don't know how to read, sit with that child. Let me just see your book. If you don't know how to read, see the child's book. I say, your handwriting is nice. That child will know that you're doing some supervision on him, or she will be conscious that
I always want to be at their best.
You will be. You want to give mommy the best.
Of course.
Oh, your book is clean. You know, you accompany your child like that. That child will feel love. You stay with your husband. Don't only tell your husband, I have to build this career. Please excuse me, and it is the time to even do your marital duties. You are explaining to your husband that I cannot do it because I am tired. Be available for your husband, because more you're available, he will even set his mind to accept what you will tell him. You make yourself available. You make yourself know that your marital duties are primordial to your success. If you succeed in that career, then the other one that we call professional career will just be at the front through. You will succeed on it.
Exactly. So, Madam Dakwe, maybe you have an advice or a word of advice to young mothers out there just starting out their career.
Yeah, what our advice is that before you do anything, you communicate. Communication. They should communicate with their partners. At least let the partner know what you're about doing. Don't just engage in something as if you're in the house alone. Let him be in that thing from the beginning. You should not just come and discover you already on it. And it should be that one that is supportive, meaning you two should be supportive in his own vision. Come to know about what he's doing, where he's going, and be there to assist him. That's why God gave women to men as helpers. But if you are that type of a woman that you're not supportive, I bet it will be a problem also for the husband to support you, because you are like already bringing barrier. That is his own activity, this is my own activity. It will bring problem for him supporting you. But if you see him engaging in something and you're there supporting him to succeed in that thing, whatever you to bring up, he will come also as a helper to succeed in that thing. So if people have that vision of always bringing your problems to the table, bring your visions to the table, bring your plan of action to the table, discuss on it, on how to achieve it, I think it will help you to succeed in whatever thing you're doing, because you're not doing it as a single body, but you're doing it as couples. So if that problem has been tabled and you've communicated upon, I think it will go a long way to solve so many problems. And then secondly, we should have that tendency of doing what we see that will achieve, as my colleague said. We should not just do things because A is doing, B is doing, my neighbor is doing this, I want to do it, Mirabel is doing that, or Elizabeth, I want to compete. Don't do things because you're like trying to compete with people. Do things because you know the importance that it will help you develop yourself, your home, will build you up, build your family positively, not because you are seeing somebody doing something, you're engaging in it. At times our husbands tend to refuse or stop us doing certain things because they have seen that the purpose or the essence of doing it is not positive. But if you have that positive mindset for doing something, that will end up being a positive mood to the home, to the children, I think no man will stand to reject you going ahead for such a move. So our motive matters also. So the advice I will give the young ladies out there striving to do something in the future is to discuss first with your husband. Let communication be your prerequisite. Discuss it, and then make a plan of action on how you carry it, and then identify if that thing you're going to do, you are going to succeed in it. How are there potentials in you to carry that thing to the end? Do you have those innate born abilities to do that thing? Because, for example, don't just go into learning how to be a hairdresser when you know you cannot stand 1 hour to plait somebody's hair, or to be a nurse when you know you cannot manage patient. You have that phobia for certain so identify what is in you, that this me like this, do I have this tendency, do I have this ability, this innate born potentials to handle this thing I'm engaging on. If you see that you can do it without any support from anywhere, then now you can now communicate on it, just to have that that tick or that approval. But if you are going because you are hoping on your husband to do it, or you're hoping on your sister, hoping on relatives to help you, that's already the beginning of failure. So some people engage in certain things hoping that others will help them achieve it. That's a problem. To engage on anything to succeed in life is for you first to look into that thing, that without any external support, I have that intrinsic motivation that I will go to the end. Then let those support come now just to assist you to succeed. And we should know that women, we are an asset to our homes. We are not liabilities. So if we enter any house, look into yourself. What am I coming to act into this man's life. Don't just see that was this man coming to give me to make me somebody. When we start having that type of mindset, that's already failure. So rather come to add something or to introduce something that will make you people, the both of you succeed. Not only sitting to wait, that let him come and give me something to become somebody tomorrow. So first, if you already have that plan in you to do something, and then you communicate is for it, and then you work towards that, I think
it's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
Okay, thank you very much. And we are already at a few minutes to go to end the program. So before we do, I want you, Doctor, maybe there is this thing you want to tell. There are a lot of, I'm sure there are a lot of young career women, career mothers watching today, and maybe there is this thing, there's one thing you wanted to do or you wish you had known when starting up as a mother and with your career. There was one thing you wish you had known back then that you can tell someone, a young woman or a young mother watching now, very briefly, that can also help them on their path to their career and their motherhood, how they can balance their everything. Maybe there's that one thing you wish you had known before starting up your own career and motherhood.
Thank you very much. I will rapidly say here that that one thing I would have loved to do is that I would have loved to move with a positive energy. Positive energy in whatsoever I do, because you know, when you are a child and you want to do something, you are actually afraid. That fright was in me. If I've terminated that fright early enough in my life, I think I would have done something better. I want to encourage young women that keep the spirit of trying to do something. Don't be afraid. Be courageous. From inception, you were born blessed. All women are blessed. All women are full of potentials. All women can do. All women can undo what they don't want. So if you think that it's an opportunity for you to explore, go for it. Don't wait for you to get married, you to get a job, you to go out there, be yourself, be self-confident, build in you that you can do it. Be yourself. Don't be too dependent on what will be if it does not come earlier in your life. Stand up and know that you can do it. Because I know in my own way I was brought up, it is that if you're not yet married, you will not actually initiate anything. So I can say that if I initiated the aspect of going into my career building or starting something in life, I think I would have been only by 5 schools. But I had to wait until you have the green light. But I want to tell you, young women, you're capable, you can do it. If only if you believe in yourself, you have the self-confidence, be strong, know that you're capable, because what God has put in you is already too big. So try to use it, try to impact life, try to render services without expecting. Don't expect that as I'm going to give, I will take. Just render and go, and any other thing will be added up to you, as the Bible says. If you try to impact life by changing people, actually you'll be changing yourself double fold.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And if there's one thing I've grabbed today, is for you to stay positive, you to stay confident, and be sure of what you're doing. I'm saying this to all our young career mothers out there who still find themselves in this tussle of confusion, whether or not they should continue with their careers or they should let it go. There is no letting go. You can get along with the two of them very, very okay if you have that zeal in acquiring, in doing whatever you're doing, in whatever career plan you find yourself in, being entrepreneurship, being any field where you find yourself in. You should have the zeal to continue what you're doing, and of course the zeal or the consciousness to take care of your children and your home, because these two things are very demanding, but they are very, very important. We hope our discussion today has helped you out there, has inspired you out there on how to continue carrying on with your life. Before we go on to thank our panelists for coming, Dr. Momeni, thank you so much for coming, and Madam Dakwe, thank you very much for coming, and also to all our broadcasting team, thank you for making it a very successful program. I've been Magdalene Wundo for presentation. Stay tuned to Divine Mercy Radio Television for more interesting programs.